somewhere. Anyways, they're little sensors, and basically you put them on your bike, and then it tells you how many rotations you have going on, which is cool. And it's really nifty if you have an iPad, because in this photo you see here, if you're using Apple Fitness Plus, there's no cadence sensor like there is on Peloton, even the digital app. So you need like an external view, and that's what My Cadence does. And it's on iOS and Android. And I'll throw the website up over here. And I started relatively simple with just putting a number on the screen. But it's evolved over time, and I've added new features. I have some pro upgrades in there, some pro features. I can see total time elapsed, average rotations, total rotations that you may have taken, which is pretty cool. And yeah, a lot of people seem to like it, and it's been downloaded a couple thousands of times. I don't know what the count is, almost like 5,000, 10,000 times, something like that. Yeah, it does pretty well overall. Most of the time, people give some bad reviews just because of some issues with Bluetooth, things like that. So, but it's going, and it's cool. It's happening. Yeah, see, I actually have a video here. What do I do? That's cool. Yeah, let's see if I have it. So like, yeah, I'm on the bike. It's funny. I think I just did this video with like, I'm actually in my garage. And I have the app up here, or connect to the Bluetooth sensor. That's so funny. Yep. And then I'm like literally cycling while I did this video. So funny. And then yeah, you just connect and it starts to show a number. I'm going very slow in this video, as you can see by my steady hand. That's so great. And that's the app pretty much. Yeah. So I got some people that reached out to me, and this one gentleman, he emailed me and he said he just was recovering from surgery, and he has to monitor his VO count for when he does exercises, and also needs to keep track of other data in as he's doing his rides. So he loved the app, but it didn't give him historical data or the ability to resume rides. And I pretty much, I think of these, I thought of it when I built the application as, I was building the app for me. So I really was pretty much just like, hey, I'm going to build the app for me, and this is what I need it for, which is putting a number on the screen. And then I'm going to let it go, basically. And then a lot of people just came in and started asking other features. So I definitely want to add this as a pro feature in the application, basically a history view into the app. Right now, the pro way of doing it, the pro features in the app are more just like extra data, stuff like that. Let's see. Gootwick says, I'm interested in learning Xamarin, but the correct way. Well, there's yeah, I have a whole video series. Where's my playlist at? I start playing music. Hey everyone, today it's me. Yeah, I mean, there's a few ways to do it. So let me copy link. So yeah, there's the playlist. Also, there is an entire Microsoft Learn path that you could take as well, which is going to take you from start to finish. There's a multiple learning paths, but there's like, hours upon hours of learning knowledge there too, which is pretty cool. And then of course just the docs, really. Xamarin. Yeah, all sorts of good stuff. And then the docs as well, so all sorts of cool stuff there. Based on how you learn, right? There's Pluralsight courses, there's Microsoft Learn stuff, all sorts of stuff. Based on how you learn and what you need to develop really at the end of the day. But just file new, start coding. It depends. That's what you're looking for. So what I want to do today is, I was on the plane going home this last weekend, and I was doing a little bit of coding, and I wanted to add a database into my application. Let me go back over to my screen here. Now, I've never shown anyone this code because it's a private repo, and I just still haven't decided to necessarily make it. Where's my zoom in at? Zoom it. There we go. I haven't necessarily thought about making it open source yet. There's no reason why I couldn't, but I just haven't. But it's really simple. It's not very clean code, but basically there's, oh man, I haven't used Zoom in a long time. How do I do boxes? There we go. Boxes. I got my, that's so funny. Any good tutorials on Bluetooth? Well, this is the first app that I did with Bluetooth. And all that stuff is in this code base here. And then, yeah, this stuff down here is pretty much shim. All my Bluetooth code is pretty, everything, there's no view models or anything. It's all in the code behind and some other stuff. But yeah, most of it I'm using this plugin BLE over here. And there's also Shiny, so there's two. So plugin.ble xamarin and GitHub Shiny org. Let's see. Yeah, so Shiny. That's a little bit more opinionated. So Alan has a little bit more infrastructure set up. And there's also this plugin BLE. And both of these are good. And you know, the whole concept is you scan for devices, you connect to a sensor, and then read data from it and read a lot of Bluetooth specifications pretty much. So yeah, this code is definitely not super pretty, but it's here. What I want to do though is I want to put in a button. What's the program for doing shapes with live? Program for doing shapes with live. I don't know what you're talking about. Juan, I don't know what you're talking about. Shapes for doing while live. I don't know. So right now I'm thinking about putting a button in here, which is pretty much a history button. So I do have a font awesome. I want to put like history, like kind of like when you're pro, there's a star, and I want to make it so it's, I think that's good. History. Oh, it's just history. Perfect. Okay, cool. So, okay, cool. So I'm going to move this here. And I'm just going to make it so it's a grid. It's going to be the same thing, and it'll be button history. Button history. And then this will just be history. And as long as that is, yeah, the only font awesome. Okay, cool. So what I have here is I'll have a history button that you can tap and then view all your past history and your rides. And I asked the gentleman, I said, well, what data do you need to know? Do you need to know? Oh, I see. One was asking, what am I using to draw arrows? I'm using Zoom It from Microsoft sysinternals, which is pretty rad. Cool. So yeah, this allows you to do a few things. So Zoom It, you hit Control 1 and you can zoom around, and then you tap, and then you can type. That's kind of cool. You just hit T and then you can type, and then you can hold down Control and then draw a box, or you can hold down Control and Shift and you can draw an arrow. So you'll be like, hey, look at this thing. Look at these things. It takes a little bit to get used to, but it's pretty cool. It's been around for like ever. And there's all sorts of other modes and things that Zoom It can do too, but super, super easy peasy to download and get going. All right, cool. So we have the history button. And what I'm going to do, I should probably make this a style. Let me do that. I'm going to put this in my app over here. Boop. Normally I don't have these things so big, but you know, let's go ahead and make a style down here. So we'll say style, and we'll say X:key, and we'll say yeah, image buttons, image button, and the target type will be button. Boop. And then we're gonna make a style, so that way we can clear up some of this stuff here. And because, like, for example, the background, the property for background color would be value of transparent. So anything that's kind of duplicated. The setter of property height request would be value 36. Oops. And then a setter of property width request. It's actually not that many, but now that I have a few of these, I should do this here. And then what I can do is I can get rid of some of this stuff here, like this. And then I can say style, and then static resource, oops, of image button. There you go. Now what I'll do is I'll get rid of these. That's here. There we go. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. I wrote this entire application in literally like a day. So that's why it's not super clean, but it's good enough. This is a Xamarin app, so this is currently a Xamarin.forms app. But I plan to migrate it to .NET MAUI probably live at some point when the time comes. You know, when it's closer to GA, things like that. I'm still waiting for some of the features to come in and libraries to update and whatnot. So, but all the code should still work technically. So that's the idea at least. So, cog history star. All right, cool. So this code is pretty pretty good. So it's really simple code, and it does stuff back here. Where's the pro? There we go. On appearing. So is visible would be settings.isPro. Other stuff that's like is pro. Oh no, just this one here. Actually, this would be like, I could do this, which would be like the reverse of this. There we go. And that's it. So basically, when I start it up, I'm going to enable or view or not view the button, and only make it visible when the button is there. And then I'm also going to do this, which is image history. Now, at some point, we're going to do something. Navigate somewhere. All right, cool. Let's see what this looks like if I boot this up. This should work. And this is a .NET MAUI app. This is the weather application. Because I also create all my videos on this machine too. So I have all the bits and pieces installed. I should probably add some more things. Do I not have an editor config in this thing? Oh, I do. Interesting. I should how do I... Add accessibility. Never. Ooh. I love these new things where it's basically telling me I can configure, and I can say add braces, add code style. So this is an editor config. Add false. Yeah, I don't want that. Get out of here. Simplify the names. Man, Visual Studio is so good at helping me clean up my code. And my settings. It represents use explicit type. I never want to use explicit types. No. Yes. I think. Trying to figure out what that is. Oh, here's the app. Done. Oh, it didn't show up. Huh. I also want to move that cadence thing up to the top. Hey, Lachlan, how's it going? Lachlan. Oh, man, it's been a long day. I use the when type as a parent one. I wanted to use var all the time. That should be the option, which is use var always. Yes. I'm just gonna do all of them. Yes. All of them. Now I'm not sure. How come this didn't work? Oh, I'm not using some things. Interesting. On appearing. All right, so button is visible. The opposite of, oops. That's why, because I copied and pasted the wrong thing. Let's try this again. And hey, Mark Sweep, thank you so much. Mark's Weep, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. There you go. Yep, you totally got it. It should be the opposite of this. I mean, I could do, actually I should do this. I say var is pro and then settings dot is pro. Yeah, because this is like the real way of doing it. This should be like this, and this should be like if I am pro. That's how it should actually work. And it should be there. I'm on an older version of xamarin.forms, but I refuse to update. So cool, now it's there. We have settings screen, boop. That's what it looks like. I do want to move this cadence thing up. And I really think that I should really put these in a, I think I need like one less row. Should just move this up so there's more room. And then this should be 1, this should be 2, 2, 2, 3. See, yeah, I'm lazy though. Look at this. I have label rotate. I did this other thing on the plane. I now did it so you can adjust these fonts and everything's dynamic, so you can like make this bigger or smaller, right? Like you have a big iPad. And then I also made it so you can make these bigger or smaller. Ooh. And that'll adjust overall. So this was one thing I did on the plane. Because someone also complained that these were too small. So I said, okay, well, you can make them tiny if you want, but like I'm gonna make them big. Like, oh. So you can make this if you were like doing split screen or something. You do that. Yeah, okay, so that works. That's up. All right, cool. Let me, what version of xamarin.forms am I on? I'm like worried to upgrade. I shouldn't be. It's 12. Let me see what version I'm on. But I think I was on internal? I'm always on like weird internal bits of stuff. Let me see. I might not be. What do I have? It requires 12. All right, I guess I'll install those. Should be okay. It's not that's not the latest that's required, but ooh. Okay, so what is it doing? It's going to, actually I can also do Control 4, and then that made me zoom in, but then I can still do stuff. It flashes the screen white for some reason, which is always upsetting. Okay, so it says, it's gonna bump, 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 bump. Very minor tweakage. Okay, oh, material gets updated. I'm not using material, so that's probably fine. Okay. Fine. I should always be on the latest, but how do I get out? Oh, yeah, then you hit Control F4 again. Okay, cool. I should just do it so I get XAML hot reload, but I'm here now. Okay, let me just recompile. Yeah, because I think the latest one is more of just pinning and has some other things. So this should be okay. It's one of those things where it's like, I know that my build configuration, everything works right now. So it's there. Hey, Yukon, want to pop in and say hi? Hello. I'm doing okay. I've been better. I've been better. All right, well, this is good. Let me see what this looks like. The rotations, this, and I'm thinking that actually what this grid should be is it should really have some column spacing. I know you're saying, James, oh my gosh, column spacing or column definitions. You're gonna mess it all up. I know. I should really do that. And then really, I should do column spacing 0. And then really, this should be grid dot column 2. And this should be grid dot column 1. Don't even need this. And then really this should be grid dot row column span 3. And really all these should be what? Oh, there we go. Boop. And then same here. So this should really be how it should be, because oh man, and actually, like, funnily enough, see, these are all because I'm a bad developer. I'm a bad developer. I just put everything in the layout system. We'll figure it out. Really, it should be like grid. This is actually correct. This is the first row. This would be grid dot column 1, and then grid dot column 2, and then this stack layout would be spaced correctly. There we go. Boop. Okay, that's better. That is better. That's the correct way of doing it, James. How you doing, Yukon? Yukon. I have an awesome update for my stream timer coming out at some point if I ever want to finish it. I never have time to finish anything, so it has like all sorts of customizations where you can do, like, you know, if you're doing like a soccer match, you can do like a full 90 countdown, like all this other stuff, all sorts of stuff, custom, all sorts of customization. Biking. Let's see. Cadence. Ooh, okay, so this should go label. This should, should move to the center. Now hot reload's not. Did that work? Oh. Huh. Interesting. Oh, I wonder if I don't need these. I definitely need those. Oh, I wonder if I need like a similar. Yeah, to align it, because there's like margins everywhere. There we go. Boop. Hey, Akra. So that'd be Cadence, and this will change for all the labels. Okay. This goes in here. That's good. And then what this will do is like, Cadence, this is a long string. Here we go. There we go. And then I go back. Okay, so I also want to make sure that if the label is too long, the name of it should go into text. Text. Horizontal text alignment center, like that. And then, but I actually want this to be like, what is the thing that you do? It is a, gotta look at the thing. It's not formatted text. Line break mode. Yeah, I thought that name looked familiar. What you been up to, man? Truncate, no wrap. What does that do? Yeah, that's better. It'll just cut it off, because it's like the name of the thing, and that's about as far as you can get. It looks better. $12 years of stuff. Oh man. In case people don't know, I worked on a game. I was like, you know, funnily enough, Josh, I was I don't talk to anyone from back in the day. I used to talk to well, I talked to Ben, obviously. I talk to Ben all the time. I worked on a game called Shred Nebula on the Xbox, which is available on your Xbox Series S. Because why wouldn't it be? Which is hilarious. And it is right here. This is a game I made. Not by myself. $4.99. Solid. This is a game. I'm in the credits. You can look at my face. Almost 13 years. I did not carry any team. I didn't do anything. I did not do anything. I was an intern. Yeah, that's funny. I did nothing. But I made a game. That's all that matters. This is good. Okay, cool. You know, I should change this default too. I'm gonna do this over here. So let me go into the settings. I have a helper. I have a settings. I'm gonna call it, this should be just My Cadence because it's literally the name of the app. So make that the default. All right, cool. Yeah, this is also cool too because how I built this app is I made it so you can actually like customize the style of the app. See this? You can like customize the theme as well. So you can say use custom theme, and you can say like, what's the text color, or you can say like background start. You can adjust it. Ah, look at that. You can say background end. Ah, look at that. That's going to turn it off because no one wants that. Been in cybersecurity for the past 5 years. Whoa, in the Air Force. Whoa. That's cool. That sounds awesome. Could be. It sounds also exhausting from the sound of it. Yeah, I haven't really talked to anybody. I talk to Ben all the time. Ben's doing good. Hang out with Ben quite often. So. I assumed you moved out of wherever you were. Maybe you're in Virginia now. Possibility. Cool, there's My Cadence. There's that. All right, so here's what I want to do is I would like to create a database. I'm going to call it My Database. No, it should be like ride database because every single time you're on a ride, you want to do this. Talk to Chris in Texas now. Cool. I haven't talked to Chris in a while. It's been a while. That's for sure. So we're going to add database. Now I did a few things here, which is I added SQLite net PCL in there. And that's what we're going to use. I'm not going to update all this other stuff though. When in doubt, don't update. Like I'm even worried to update just the Bluetooth things. I know it works. I should, but I'm worried. Yeah, I talked to Ben just a few days ago. He's working on some cool stuff. Now in my 101 series, I actually created a database. So github.com/james/mycoffee app. This is the app that I build out on my 101 series all the time. What we want to do is I'm gonna steal a service, coffee service. Is that? Yeah. And we are going to steal this thing. Now, we're going to do this. Ride database. Now we're going to remove this I from it. We're going to bring in our SQLite-net. We're going to bring in our tasks. Okay. And we're going to bring in app data directory, my data, my rides. All right, bring a path and system IO. And I don't know what this is going to be. We need to create a structure. So let's do that here. And really it'll be add, probably remove, probably get, and probably get a specific one. So this probably looks actually relatively accurate. But it's not gonna be coffee. We're gonna create a ride. So when you have a ride, there's a few things we track. So let me put in a model here, a new folder. And this will be I'm gonna do a ride. Now the ride is gonna have a public date time, and I'll say date UTC. It gets that. Because that should equal. I should really do UTC. That's why I was looking up UTC if it's UTC now. And we're gonna have public. Let's see, what data do I give? I give back. When you spin, I give you time average rotations. So I'd give you a, what are these? There we go. An integer, so int average, public int. What do I do in here? Do a it's a double. Rotations. What do I do for elapsed time? Oh, that sound like show time. I have that on a timer. Isn't that funny? It's on a timer. And then timer elapsed. And this is a time span. Ooh, I don't know that. I'll do ticks probably. From ticks, elapsed time is going to be a long. Let's do I guess it'll be a public long elapse ticks. So what this does, it says, oh, interesting. Can I do a time span from ticks? Or actually, I really do like time span dot from ticks. Yes. It's a long value. Cool. All right, that's what I want. Quick question from Jen. John. I should hit up all the guys who missed our 10-year reunion. Did I see Ben came to my wedding for my 10-year? No, maybe 11-year, depends. So that could be. He's my officiant. Ben married me. Ben married me. Thank you. Yeah, great question. So in the database, yes. So there's so what you need to do is what I'm doing here is I am, and now we can do this. We can say create a table of ride in here too. I'm bringing that model. So you need to give it a database path over here. Like, where do you want to create this, or what file do you want it to use? And what we're going to tell it is to put it in the app directory. And this is coming from Xamarin Essentials, correct? Yeah. So Xamarin Essentials will give you a cache directory and an app directory. Okay. So the cache directory is a file location that is not backed up. It's not visible to the user, and it can be cleared at any time. Whereas the data directory is usually backed up. So we're going to actually have this tiny little database backed up in iCloud or wherever Apple or Google do that. Now we can tell them not to do it. We can actually put a specific alert that says, hey, don't back up this specific file or something like that. But for all intents and purposes, it's probably going to be fine for us to back it up. Yeah. Okay, so we have a date, average, rotations, elapsed, ticks, which is good. So we'll be very specific on it. And we probably need a, what's our coffee look like? Now you can put those files anywhere, but the app data directory is the correct one usually. Yep. Yep. There you go. Mm-hmm. Why do I not have my? Where's my models at? Oh, my models are in a shared directory. They're up one. Boop. Models. Copy. So I probably need this. I need an ID, a public int, as well. Cool. So there's that. Average. These all rotate to 0. Yeah. And this would be the date time UTC of it. So that's about right. And I probably want to store a start time as well. Now, the other thing that I do for this database, I texted Frank. And although Frank is missing, I've not heard from Frank. And I hope he's okay. He's somewhere. I don't know where. So there's that. I do add ride. This will be like the easiest database ever because it's just like ride, remove. It's just a ride database. So it'll be like ride, get all, rides. I mean, it's like databases are easy. I mean, they're easy and hard. Get. It's easy when you're not doing online offline sync, basically. So there's that. Ride. So this one's just going to do a link query to get a specific one there. Yeah. So what I do is I have this little initialize thing. And what I'm doing is I say, hey, like I want to make sure like I can call all of these things ahead of time. And just make sure that this initialize always gets called. Like, do I have a database? And if I do have a database, then just return. But if I don't have a database, go create the database and initialize it. So this is sort of my hacky way of just always making sure it's initialized. Is this the best thing? I don't know. Probably not. And I can do like assembly, dependency, type of. I could have an interface here, but I'm just going to pass it the ride database and just get access to it in general. So just, I don't even need an interface. Yeah, I guess I don't need this. It's not actually the ID. Retrieves its auto-incremented primary key if it has one. So that's it. Yeah, so always the app data directory. Return it back, create it. Good, good, good. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing, folks. Inside my Cadence page, what I have, don't judge me. I have a lot of code. How come this is still, I don't want to use an explicit thing. Did it do it? There we go. var. Oh, I must have messed something up. I love this new editor config dialog. So good. So good. So here's the thing, folks. Here's how this works. It's bad. Look at this on appearing. That's gross. Device disconnected, on disappearing, elapsed timer, update the timer, on start characteristics, I'm disconnecting. There you go. Values have been updated. So whenever I get new data from the sensor, what I'm doing is I'm reading the cadence data. I am continue session. I am, what is that? Oh, yes, is if I'm continuing the session from previous times. I'm restarting the time. Doing stuff. I'm basically saying, this is the first value, just kind of like, you know, initialize things to 0. As long as the data is valid, no one's spinning at 200 RPMs, you're hurting yourself. Go ahead and calculate stuff here. That's funny. Yep. Okay. Rotations, label rotations. I need to... else, there's a question mark, so if it returns 0. Oh, it doesn't do anything if there's an else. That's interesting too. Okay, so... but I am putting these... oh, I have a total. So I think, so what I need to do is I need to, let's say I want to graph the data. I want to record all the things, and I would like to record them. And right now I just have a total number, and I have a average. Where's this total? What is a total? Plus equal. Oh, this is an ongoing. Yeah. This is a. I'm trying to think of how I want to do it, right? So I could have a list of integers. So okay, like if I was just to talk this out, right? And I was to like map things over time, I would need like a list of int, and I would say rotation list rotations rotation timestamps rotations yeah, you know, something like that. And basically what I would do is when I start this thing, I would do something like this. Have a list of things, and what I would do is every time I do this, it would, you know, do this. Because what I also have is I have a total divided by count. So the count is how many times I've come in to this thing, like how many times I've gotten updates. And this would just be a list of all the rotation readings for a ride, which is a lot. I would need to like test to see how much data this is in general. But what I could do is I could come in and when I start it, I could say, hey, let's say I did calc. Let's say the average ride was 30 minutes times 60 seconds. And let's say this thing updates every second. So it's 1800. Let's say it's every half second. So it's about 3600 data points. So I guess if I just did like, 3,000 or, 4,000, right? That'll be the capacity that it gives. And it can always get bigger, but I get these rotations that are just growing. Waiting for someone to come to the house. So I don't know. Let me just look here. Oh, all right. I will be right back. All right, we're back. I had to grab the door really quick. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Everyone, no one types, so that's good. All right, just having some yard work done. Pick up, do a bunch of stuff. Very scary. Lots of lines, lots of electrical, gas lines, fun stuff. All right, anyway, so we're back over here. So I talked to Frank, and Frank said, hey, obviously, I was like, hey, how do I store this thing in the database, right? Like, I need the data. Right? I need all these points. And I was like, do I need it? Let's say there's 4,000 entries. Do I need 4,000, you know, records and like link them to an ID? And he's like, no, don't do that. That's silly. He's like, all you need to do is serialize this out, because all this is going to be rotations, and what I would give back is pretty much like I would know how long it is. Oh, I should do a duration. Oh yeah, elapsed time. So I'll have like the elapsed time, divide that up, and I could specify how many data points and figure out the time and things like that technically. So he said to serialize it out. So I don't know what that means, but I think I'd want to do like a public, like, what does that mean? So if I serialize list of objects. He said I could do it to JSON, but that seems like can I serialize it to would I serialize it to like a SQLite has no problems with the amount of data. Oh, I know. I mean, I know I could do 4,000 entries, but I don't want to pull them all back together. Like, because I could just give it a huge string of data in JSON, which I think is fine too. But isn't there a way just to serialize it out to like a binary format? Just like, you know. Like, I don't want to like pull it all together. I thought that I could just like I guess I could do a timestamp, like I guess I don't know. List of integers. Yeah, like I could definitely put all the data in the SQLite database. So I don't want it to be like yeah, could I just do oh, it's a binary formatter file. Yeah, I don't want it to be JSON B. Yeah, that's yeah. Thank you. That's what I thought there was something like JSON B Newton Soft. I actually installed Newton Soft. Binary JSON. Yeah. That's what that's what I thought. Where's the binary? Binary data. Binary. BSON reader. So JSON.NET binary array, binary converter. Let's see what you guys says. You could get session data, GUID session data. read readings where I configure await false. Yes. Return await and retry database table readings where. Yes, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I don't want to store. I mean, I know I could store 4,000 records, but it's like it's just data. You know what I mean? I want it to be like, here's the thing. Yeah, I want it to be like this. How do I do it? Yeah, and Frank was like, hey, you can just totally do it fine without it. With just adding all the rows or all the data or just JSON. Serialize to BSON. There we go. Oh, so you do this. Okay. Deserialize a collection. So it's a string. Public string data. Rotation data. Because I just want to graph it over time. I don't even know if I need a timestamp. Like ideally it'd be like 0 to whatever, and then that's how many, and then the intervals in between would be accurate. So I don't even need very much. I just need like a 0 and then elapsed ticks. And then I can slice and dice those up with like how the in between are. So I think what I would do here is I would be like public static class, and I'll say ride helpers. And then I would do public string. I would say from BSON string BSON in. And I would do public static. Public static list of int. Remember, a string or blob is 1 billion length max. Yeah, that's what this would be short, right? Right? A billion. That's a big string. In SQLite. Oh, this would be from BSON. Yeah, this would go from BSON. This would be string to BSON. Data. So it's yeah. So this one you're saying like it would be this to this would be probably like using oh, I guess I need to specify a langver. Interesting. I did it. I did specify. Thank you very much. BSON. Okay. Oh, it's moved to its own JSON.bson. Oh, interesting. Okay. Do I even need the JSON thing then? You will have the overhead of the JSON. You will have a smaller footprint if you just store the readings individually. Yes. Correct. That is correct. Yeah, there'll definitely be some overhead because I'm obviously serializing and deserializing it back and forth. But I think for a James simplicity, I'd rather have, because it multiplies, right? Like I know that SQLite can handle it, but let's say I have 100 rides. Let's say I have one ride, right? You got 4,000. But then let's say you got 10 rides. Now you got 40,000, right? Records. And then you're like, oh, I got, you know, 4,000 data points times 365 rides. Like I got 1.4 million rows in my database. And I just feel like I'd rather have 365 from a standpoint. Well, I'm only going to read that data in and parse it if I click on details. And I might not even do that in the beginning. I might be lazy and just show specific datas. But yes. Oh, that's funny. This should be like return. Okay. I guess I could do a byte array back to it as well. Oh, I need to install that NuGet package. Newtonsoft. Why didn't he remove those things? That's interesting. That's fascinating. Like, why didn't he remove those classes in version 13? Huh. What? Okay. I don't understand. Where am I supposed to bring it in? Bson writer. I did bring in my own class, but then it's telling me that there's... Why is it telling me it's obsolete? I installed it. Oh, doesn't... yeah, Mood is its own package. Okay, show potential. Just gonna suppress it, I guess. Or just silent? So I don't want it to be squiggly. That's interesting. Okay. And then from... Mm-hmm. Do I also need to... Is there using on here too? Nope. Ah. Oh, just a list. I guess it's iList faster. But you have the overhead of the JSON. You'll have a smaller footprint if you just store the readings. No, I don't want to store the readings individually. I refuse. I'm doing it. Frank told me to do it. I'm doing it. Maybe you just need to use the full names. Oh, you think? Oh, maybe. This song reminds me of like a workout video. It's gonna be like Newton soft dot. Well, I don't know because it is .bson. Can you ask me a question about a xamarin.forms project? Depends what that question is. What is it? Your question's answered. I did a clip highlight last time on my YouTubes, and that seemed to have gone over well. Last time we covered like Xamarin versus xamarin.forms type of stuff. We covered that. 6,000 views. Dang, son. 3 days ago. Oh my gosh. I'm developing a mobile app for a client where I need where the this is hard to read. I am developing a mobile app, Android and iOS, for a client. There's already a desktop app. Okay. The mobile and desktop app won't have the same options. I'm planning to migrate sys-based Power Builder to C#. My big doubt is what is the best option? Okay. We're developing xamarin.forms with Android, iOS, UWP in the same project. What kind of app is it? Like how big is it? Pretty much. Yeah, what are the business requirements of it? Really quick. That'd be the idea. Like how big is the application? All right, keep doing it. I might come back. I might do a clip of answering this question. Based, I need more context. I need more context. I need the context. All right, now that I've definitely upset John, yeah, like what type of app is it? Like, what is it doing? Does it need multiple windows? Is it like, does it need to run on Windows 7, Windows 8? You know what I mean? Like, what are the business requirements? Like high level, you know what I mean? What are the business requirements? Give me the context. I'm ready. I'm ready. My body is ready. Read root values as array. Oh, cool. All right. Look, this is great. All right, so we have this data, rotation data. This is here. So I know what you're saying, James. This is terrible code, and I know you're right. But what I would want to do is when I stop, stop clicked, stop, go to definition, is stopping. Bad code, bad code. Okay, so okay, so here we're gonna store data. Say if rotations.count greater than 0. We need to have this retry logic currently, so I'll need to like insert update a thing. But if the rotation data, I think I just have count actually. If count is greater than 0, then we're gonna store it. Var ride, I'm gonna say equals. I'm gonna say new ride. Nope, new ride. Okay. What code editor finishes autofills after the apostrophe pressing the enter tab? I don't know. Usually finishes. Oh, how is this? Yeah, bring in the using. Auto after the apostrophe in your code. Ride 2 equals new ride. I don't know. It I think you can set that up. I think you can adjust the editor settings if you want. log, I'm still waiting for the context. Let me know. So I'd want like daytime UTC. So we're gonna have a date time in here. Date time original start time equals. All right. And what we're gonna do is because I want to just track like when you start it. So if it's not a continued session, I started to receive some data, we have it. Okay. We need the elapsed ticks, which will be, do I have the E ticks? So here, this would be to store this as a time span as well. Say I'm gonna say total elapsed time. This doesn't exist yet, but I'm gonna put it here. It's gonna update automatically. And here goes that. Okay. And when is the best use of invoke on main thread when you're on a background thread? So, so I do this here because there's a when you're touching the UI to begin with. So and you want to ensure you're on the UI thread. So I'm updating UI stuff here. See that? And there we go. Cool. So whenever you do a begin and invoke, so here I'm getting Bluetooth data, right? And I want to make sure that that is always is on the that's on the background thread. So Bluetooth data is being streamed in. That's not on the UI thread. This is happening in the background. So here, since I'm updating the UI, I need to invoke on the main thread. So I need to tell it to invoke on the main thread and keep going, basically. So that's what is happening there. I don't know, Burnt. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you because I don't know what your flow is or what editor you're using today. I'm in VS, Visual Studio proper, so I don't know if it's doing the thing you're looking for. What I also want to do is I want to do this, which is I want to store some data. This average, which I guess I could calculate every time. Total rotations. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll do if. Here. And then here I'll do, yeah, that'll always just be updating total rotations and average. So how interesting. I'm apparently not storing the average for some reason. Oh, I guess I calculated every time. Total rotations, average. I guess I need to... Oh, it's just here. Let me just do this. I'll put it up here. This is an integer. Average. Oop. Average equals. Oops. Oh, I'll be right back. One more time. coming back. All right. Fun life of irrigation systems. My dog want to get in? Scratch on the door. Thanks for all now, everyone. Where can you re-watch everything? Great question. YouTube. Boom. I post them all over there, so if I take a look. Oh, Bill says something. Whoa. See you, Bill. Have a good one. Oh, Peter White. Nice. Coming to town. Good stuff. While on the okay, let me go back here a little bit. While on the subject of threading, what's the best approach for pub sub events across threads? Like if your background thread has data, fires an event on the main thread subscribes to. I guess like the messaging center built into xamarin.forms to kind of like handle some of that stuff automatically. You should probably know like where the data is coming from if it's coming from the background. But as long as the main thread may be subscribing to it, but the main thread may be subscribing to it, but what you do with the data is the important part, I think. I would need like the use case, you know what I mean? Now, here's the rotation data. So I'm going to say ride helpers dot to bson. Rotate. Oh wow, it actually knows. Man, that's so good. Oh, there we go. Why is this? Oh. Sometimes there's too many helpers. Did we lose Oleg? Are you still there? Give me that context. I'm still waiting for it. I also was trying to answer your question a little bit. What else do I got? Yep, I do upload them to YouTube. Usually the next week. So usually wait until Tuesday. It kind of depends if I have videos coming out, but this one will come out on Tuesday. I'll probably do a highlight reel the next week after. I usually put out full videos on Thursdays. I have one next week coming out about how I edit and do podcasts. So let's go to that ride helper. And let's change this to bson. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the desktop app. I don't even. What is a sysbase? I've never heard of this. I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what that is. Okay, so it's like a WinForms app type of power base. Okay, gotcha. Forms everyday thing. It's like WinForms. Okay, gotcha. It runs Windows 7, Windows 10 is designed for a doctor's office, CRUD for a patient, CRUD for appointment, log a doctor, blah, blah. So the app, in the app, just CRUD appointments, the logs, like history of appointments, connecting to the app through an API on a local server. It's not a big app, just for a person's worker. But you said that the desktop app is going to be different than the desktop app is going to be different than the mobile app. Can you describe that a little bit? Like, does this thing have multiple windows? Is it just like a single window? Like, for example, like my stream timer, my app here, it's just a single window, right? And I can navigate inside the application or have multiple tabs, things like that, you know? But is there going to be like different pop-ups where you need different dialogues and different custom controls and things like that? All right. So there's a few things that I need to do here still. Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. But the mobile app is going to do different stuff. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Is there going to be overlap? There's going to be overlap in technology, but there's some things in between. Oh, this one's easy. What's the best event in a page's init to load data on appearing? Pretty much. Like, that's when it's loading, but like after. Yeah, like is there so like is there going to be like a you know, for the desktop app and the mobile app, there's going to be some functionality overlap or no? No. Then also time bender, you can run multiple tasks at the same time asynchronously. No, so literally the desktop app is different than a mobile app, than the mobile app. Is it ever need to run on a Mac? Just on Windows. And it has to run on Windows 7. The only thing I need to do here is store data. And what I should do, let's see. I should do await. I need to do dependency. This insert, there should be an update in here somewhere. Burn project, I'm not sure. You should ask on the developer community. If you go and like hit this like little help send feedback button, I would look in the docs. I'm not really sure. I don't know all the shortcuts and stuff, but yeah. As far as like doing that stuff, I'm not sure. I'm assuming, yeah, you could customize it. Probably inside of like tools options somewhere, like there's like text editor, and then there's like probably all sorts of things in here that you can customize. Like, I don't know where it'd be at though, but you could, I mean probably like there's there's general, and then there's like code style format. Yeah, I mean, probably. I wouldn't know. I don't know though. Add or update. So I think what I want to do is I would say like if so I would say if var existing ride equals get await ride dot ID. Oh, what I should do here is do ride, and the ID should be like -1. And then if ride d does not equal -1, I'm gonna try to get the existing ride, and then if kudos to Brandon Minnick. It's a long attempt and retry. Oh, for SQLite, it never fails. Frank's code never fails. So then I would do wait db dot update object. Oh, then what I would need to do is I would need to say like existing. Oh yeah, I think I just do ride. Like, hey, update the ride, because like it exists and the ID is the same. Then just do it. Update the ride with whatever the ride date is. Is that correct? Update. Oh. Like that? No. Nope, that's definitely not it. I know. It's like I forgot how to use a database. Just update. I guess it knows what it is, so return. Are you doing asynchronous updates? Yes. Frank said he fixed all of it. Yeah, I mean the traffic is like one, it's like one call. It's like one entry. I never use configure await false. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. It doesn't add any value in my life. Adds complexity because it messes stuff up. I don't like it. I never use it. I'm against it unless I'm on the server. Even then, I don't use it. Doesn't matter. Everything's fast. Everything's fast. Yeah, update. I guess so. Yeah, Frank told me that it's all good. It's all gravy. All right, cool. So I think that will work. So I think now this inserts, it says retrieves its auto incremented primary key if it has one. So ideally is that return that back. And then add or update. Okay, and then ID. And then what I would do is I'd say on start, go to definition. Doing a new ride. Perfect. Okay, let's... I think I actually just did it. I think this is the database code. Okay, let's answer L-Og's question. Oops, I just hit the wrong... Oh my gosh. Stop. Oh, audio's back. Oh man, I was so excited. I did it great. All right. Timestamping at 1:52. There we go. That's funny. Well, so what I did is I accidentally re-hit my start button instead of my webcam button, and then it just fired off a bunch of things. So funny. Sorry about that. Thank you. All right. All right, so Elog asks in the chat, hey, I need to build a new mobile application for iOS and Android, and at the same time, I have an existing legacy Windows application that I want to upgrade and convert to C#. Now, these two applications are going to be different all up, but what piece of technology should I use for my mobile apps and for my desktop apps? Now, Oleg's in a very interesting situation because they have an existing thing called a Power Builder app. And this thing I've never heard of, but I guess it's like a WinForms-esque sort of data entry CRUD operation thing. And it has multiple windows that pop up, all sorts of different things that are popping up on top of it. And the mobile application needs to run on iOS and Android, but the Windows application needs to run on Windows 7 and Windows 10. Now, I would say, hey, think of your timelines and probably try to get everyone on Windows 10 just for, security and for just, upgrading in general, make your life easier as a developer for testing. But what technology should they use? Now, like I said earlier, the question comes about, and I got more context from them, is that this is CRUD operation. So it's going to be different data type applications for prescriptions and patient data and all different things. And fundamentally, they'll use the same backend, but they'll have different UI and different, purposes for the mobile and the desktop application. So they want to know, should I use basically Xamarin and xamarin.forms on the mobile, or wait for .NET MAUI, because .NET MAUI is coming out, which will have iOS, Android, iPadOS, Windows, and Mac? Or should I use a combination, which is xamarin.forms for my mobile apps and maybe WinForms, WPF, or UWP with WinUI for my Windows desktop application? This is a great question. I get asked this all the time, of mixing and matching different pieces of technology. Now, I built an application called My Stream Timer. It's open source. I'll put a link down over there. Since I know I'm recording this for YouTube highlights, but we're there. But the mystreamtimer.com, I originally built out as a WPF application with .NET Core, which would now be .NET 5. And then I built the Mac version of it with xamarin.forms. And the XAML and stuff is like similar, yet a little bit different. And I had different purposes. I wanted to kind of trial run WPF for .NET Core, so I just wanted to see how it worked with the packaging system. But what I would say overall is, well, what do you know? What are your timelines and what's the complications? It sounds like the apps are fundamentally different, but you do want to have similar maybe architecture, maybe some shared services, some shared models, some shared API calls, authentication. So it depends, really. It depends on your business requirements. It sounds like for the mobile applications, it's pretty much no-brainer. It's like I would definitely go all in on writing those fresh with xamarin.forms today if you need to ship it between now and the end of the year. You could also start developing with xamarin.forms today and look to migrate to .NET MAUI in the future. And .NET MAUI is the evolution of xamarin.forms, so you're going to get all the benefits and more there, and it should be an easy transition. So I think the mobile applications are quite standard, I would say, in that regard. Now, with .NET MAUI, you are going to get Windows and Mac OS support, first-class support there, and iPadOS. Now, xamarin.forms does support UWP applications today. And in fact, I use it for my stream timer. I eventually converted the WPF app, my stream timer, that was using WPF to just share the XAML and all the code with my Mac application with xamarin.forms. And I did that just because of complexities, and as I grew it, I was adding more features, and I didn't want to duplicate the UI twice. But since your applications are fundamentally different, and you require multiple Windows support, and you require some of those advanced things that you do need to run on a Windows 7. Like, the one thing I would say is you could come in with .NET MAUI, because .NET MAUI is going to give you multi-window support on your Windows application, but then, you know, you are waiting basically for that to hit GA, and you can start developing today with xamarin.forms back and forth. You know, it is July right now. It's end of July 2021. So, of course, you asked me this question in 6 months or 12 months. It may vary and just say go all in on .NET MAUI. But you did say that there's a business requirement of Windows 7, and that's the kicker there, which probably means you're going to need to stick to WinForms or WPF. And I would probably go with WPF, only because you're going to have a lot of those capabilities of multi-windowing, all the stuff that you already know. And you'll have the benefits that like the XAML tooling, XAML hot reload, all that stuff is going to work across the board. All the stuff that's coming, hot reload is already there. It's like all the hot reload and new hot reload coming in Visual Studio 2022 will also be coming. There's designers, all that stuff that you would want, and XAML Live previewers. So I think you're going to get a lot of benefits from that today for just the Windows application. But then I want you to structure your code that your mobile apps live side by side this WPF application, and they start to share some of the business logic. So things like common services, your data models, just core business logic, right? If you're making Azure calls or REST calls or whatever you're doing, databases, a lot of that code can be streamlined across, you know, your mobile applications with xamarin.forms and then your WPF application, because that's how I started my stream timer. Just the UI was different and that was it. So like I said, your application is relatively fundamentally different because you said it's a different app on desktop and a different app on mobile, but it doesn't mean that you can't use the same tooling, the same languages, the same experience when you're developing. So based on your needs today and your complexity of your Windows application, you may want to look at WPF because you're going to have all those multi-windowing things. If your timeline is, I'm not going to start this until the end of the year, you know, when .NET 6 GAs in November, you might want to look at .NET MAUI in that regard. Or in this regard, if you're like, hey, I'm doing the mobile app first, that's awesome. That's a great situation because maybe your desktop application can get done way later. So just do the mobile application first and then decide what you want to do with the desktop application, because that stuff is going to change a lot with .NET 6 and .NET MAUI coming in. So maybe that's not like the final, like up, down here, yes, you know, what you want to go, but ideally that gives you some context of the pieces of technology out there. The best part is that your C#, your .NET code is going to run everywhere. So no matter what you're doing, you'll be good to go. So hopefully that helps a little bit with some context of, hey, I need to build a mobile app, and also I got to do desktop development. What should I pick? What UI technology should I pick? At the end of the day, it comes down to like, also, if you know WinForms like the back of your hand, then just do WinForms because you're going to be super productive, at least for the desktop stuff. Whereas, you know, when it comes to mobile, you know, xamarin.forms is a great choice for you to go into. Anyways, there you go. Hopefully that was helpful. I don't know if it was, but I thought about that long and hard. Lotan in the house. Wow, 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 wow. We got a mod in the house. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. I was doing some Q&A at the end here. I was updating my Cadence app, and we just added a database. Yeah, I need to. Do I have a sensor up here? I have one. Is this the one? I have one. At least one. I have so many sensors everywhere. When are we gonna hang out next? I don't know. Soon. Soonish. Why don't you want to hang out with me? Why don't you want to hang out with me? You know, a little dog get together, a little doggo collaboration. This is the app. Okay, well, this is still not center. Why is it still not center? That's weird. Anytime you want. Ooh, yeah, I will contact you. I'll contact you, buddy. We got some stuff happening. Oh, it's because I didn't redeploy. There may be opportunity. Maybe some opportunities for a little doggo get together. I will let you know. I'll text you. I will text you. That is for sure. Okay, My Cadence, this thing here, configuration, good. I need to run this on a device, technically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my device and plug it in up here. Because it doesn't have Bluetooth, you know what I mean? So, doot. All right, cool. I think I have the app already on here, so I'm gonna uninstall it. Okay. I'm gonna use Visor. I'm gonna shut this down, and I'm gonna deploy it to my phone. And we're gonna close this down. And what we want to do is we want to basically put a breakpoint on this add or update ride. I added a bunch of new features when I was on the plan, I know. Okay, so has been updated. All right, cool. There we go. Cool. Reload later. All right, so I have my sensor here, and we should go configure, scan. Yes. Starting. I'm pedaling. This should show up. I'm pretty sure it's on. There it is. This is me. Rotating, testing, connected. It's happening. Cool. We're gonna start our run here. It's connecting to the sensor. It's happening. Look at that. I'm going fast. All right. We're gonna hit stop. Boom. Okay. This is how I test this out, by the way, so that's fun. So ride ID equals -1. And let's do, how do I do step over? Yep. Oops, did I mess up there? Where'd it go? Continue? Oh my gosh. What did I just do? Did it update in the database? I don't know. Oh my gosh. All right, well, I guess I'll do a start again. Let me do start a new session. This is a new feature I just added, so I was just like, okay. All right, I should clear that out actually when it's start a new session, but going fast, doing stuff. All right, so, oh, I see. So it actually hit down here. Duh. He does need a 3D Premiere thing. So I start a new session, average, this. So hit again. Database ride is 1. That's good. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let me do one more. Okay, so I'm gonna do start, new session. Connects again. I mean, this is like, you don't understand. Like I did this like so many times. I guess I should look at the data that's coming back. Right? Oh, there is a huge rotation. Rotations, ID, average, elapsed time. Elapsed tips like 0. That's not correct. That's for sure. Okay. So 1. Okay, so yeah, this is not correct. Like the insert async, I think is incorrect. Because it should, it's like returning the number of rows added to the table. Ah. I thought that insert would give me the number of rows added to the table. Yeah, so this is not correct. I wish it would give me the identifier. It says it. Oh, I think it automatically updates it, actually. So I think whatever I did is wrong. Now, let me refresh this here. Then I gotta go. It's almost 5 o'clock. Yeah, I wish Frank would 3D print this for me. That'd be great. Yeah, I don't think that is correct, because someone corrected me before. Oh, this should be total elapsed time dot ticks. Let me put a breakpoint here. Okay, so starting it up. Now once I have it in there, I'm gonna scan again, so it should just connect automatically here. There we go. It's connecting. It's doing stuff. Stopping. Total elapsed time is, ooh, did I not? What? Stupid. Ah. I see. This won't matter, because if I'm showing it, then it'll show up, but that's my bad. I don't start it if you're not showing the time. Stupid James. I guess I should just do this. That'd be pretty decent. Okay, cool. So it should store it correctly. Storing the data. Yeah, and there's a bunch of these different ones that are out there, just like non-stop, basically. So that's my kicker here. Bum 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 bum. Okay, cool. So let's see here. Oops, what did I do? Oh, there we go. Yeah, my phone just has like a bunch of Bluetooth testers, pretty much. All right, let's see. Testing it up. Yeah, it would be cool, like just put it in, just start spinning all the time. That'd be cool. And ideally, I could set the rotation. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. Backup async, nice. I'll have to check that out. All right, so the ride data comes in. Average 95, ID -1, elapsed ticks, beautiful. Rotations 25. This is the date time UTC, which is now average. Okay, cool. So I do this, and then the ride data, it should automatically update the ID, which is 4. Perfect. And then that gets returned to it here. And then let's say I start again and I say, yes, continue, right? It's going to connect. I never tried this before, but it should go. Connecting, I think. I don't know. We'll see if that worked or not. I don't know if it did, but sure. Okay, stop. And then ideally, this ID is 4. The rotation data is big. So is that string going to be ginormous in the array? Is that what you're saying? Because like if I go in the ride, maybe I need to serialize out the string instead of the bson. And I need to think about that. Yeah. Oh, not now. Like, is that BSON just gonna be like continuously ginormous? I don't know. Like, I'm curious. I don't know how many data points are in here, right? I was thinking also I could trim down the data points where it's like need to add a data point. Like if it's been a second, that's what I need to do is like only add it if it's been a second, you know? That's the kicker, I think. Yeah, so like if I stop, I guess I didn't know how BSON worked. So there's that. So like I have 64, right? And then the, if the BSON is too big, I don't know. I mean, I could just not make it BSON and just a string. Like, so the question ends up becoming like, I have 64 values. I did like letter count. So this is 676, right? So if I didn't do that, okay, so if I did, for example, I don't think it'll be smaller. I think that I think it would be like Newton Soft. I think it would just be like, right, watch. So this one had 60, so it's 64 rotations and it's 676 characters long. Seems like a lot. Because a JSON file, I mean, we can, well, it depends. Depends how fast you're going. But, I mean, it's a good question. It's a good question. All right, so let's see here. So here we have yeah, so 76 or 16. Or this is there's like there's 58. So I don't know. Well, it depends because like this is just really small JSON. Oh, I was looking at the JSON data actually, huh? Yeah, that's incorrect. What I want is, oh, that is the JSON data. Yeah, like, so let's say I like multiplied that, right? So let's say it was, I don't know, like a lot. I don't know. I gotta ask Frank. I don't know, time better. Probably, I think the debugging has improved a bit, but I don't know. that never really has been a problem for me, I guess. But sometimes, like if there's a sig fault or whatever, you can't do much about it. All right, I need to think about this JSON data. I need to ask Frank, like, what's the best thing? I don't know. But the database exists. That is for sure. And I could just not add the data, and I could add it later. But I do want to have the data there. I need to think about it. But I gotta go. I gotta go, folks. That's what I gotta do. I gotta go. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me. Lots of good recommendations I need to think about in the chat from everybody. A lot of people good recommendations. All right, that's gonna do it for this stream. Be back next week, maybe. We'll see. Maybe the week after. You can find my YouTube at youtube.com/JamesMontemagno. Put it in the chat right there. Boom. Put this video out next Tuesday. I have a Tuesday on how I make podcasts on Thursday, and then I'll do a highlight of this one on Tuesday after that. Cool. Anyways, hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.